Hello, and welcome back to the Pistol Report. My name is John Francois, the Senior Instructor for Archangel Technologies. In our last video, we covered bullets, cartridges, and how they engage the lands and grooves in a barrel. But before we get started on to our next, let's go ahead and do our 4 rules of gun safety. The guns are always loaded. Don't put your finger on the trigger until you're on target and ready to shoot. Know your target and what's beyond it, and never let the barrel point at anything you're not willing to destroy. We have that, so let's move on. Our last video, we discussed shell casing design, where you have rim for revolver and rimless for semi-automatics. We also discussed lands and grooves, aka rifling, inside of pistol barrels. That's the view looking out of a barrel or into a barrel with the lands and the grooves. And here is the image of a seated semi-automatic cartridge in a firearms chamber. Hence, we were talking about the grooves that the bullet will engage, imparting a spin to stabilize and make the bullet far more accurate. So now we're going to talk about projectile speed, because the speed of projectiles, as far as firearms go, are measured in feet per second. So most people, when they talk about feet per second, it's, something that most people don't really measure speed in. But we all know miles per hour. So I have the formula here, if you can see it, so you can convert feet per second into miles per hour. And that is, whatever the feet per second is, let's use a 230 grain 45 bullet, traveling at 900 feet per second. If you multiply that by 0.681818, you come up with something like 613 miles per hour, or close to it. So that's just something that can allow you to understand the speeds at which the bullets are traveling. We're also going to discuss the weight of bullets. Bullets, their weight, are measured in grains. And as you can see, I hope you can read this, there's 437.5 grains for an ounce of weight. So here are some average bullet weights. The 9mm Parabellum, that's usually 115 grains. Let's go to a 45 ACP, automatic Colt pistol. That weight is usually 230 grains. And so if you go, let's say 230 grains is 230 grains, 460, you have over an ounce of bullet weight if you fire 2 bullets into a target. So you can do a lot of this study on your own. And so once again, we'll cover the cartridge, just for those who are catching up on it. The cartridge is consisted of the primer, the propellant, the shell casing, the projectile, the bullet, the jacket on the bullet, and the lead core. Now, all those put together make a cartridge. And what we're talking about as far as projectile speed and weight is just the part that comes out of the shell casing and goes down range. Now, sometimes people are going to want to talk about ballistics. Thank goodness, when it comes to defense handgun use, ballistics don't really play a factor except terminal ballistics, which just means what it does after it hits a target. That's what we'll be focused on as far as ballistics. Other than that, only thing we're focused on is making sure you know how to use your sights, you know how to identify your target, and once you do decide you have to defend yourself, how to do it correctly. So until next time, take care.